Hello everybody. First off, I want to say that my setup is a little bit different today. Obviously, I'm outside. I'm hoping that my microphone will keep out any weird external noises, like for instance, my cat screaming from the inside of my house trying to get out, even though he's literally only ever lived in a house his entire life, so would not make it on the streets. Or Petra's cat, who is upstairs in her apartment. We live at the same house, but not together. Don't ask. Who is going through severe heat and is also screaming at the top of her lungs. I've tried to keep away all of the bees by making a concoction of water, dish soap, peppermint essential oil, and cinnamon essential oil with a little bit of ground cinnamon just to add a little razzle dazzle. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I'm outside. I'm hoping that it's not f***ing up the audio too horribly. It's really nice out, and this is what you do when you get sober. You force yourself to go outside. So my big question to start off this video is, why do you think that this channel is called Young, Dumb, and Sober? I know you can't answer me directly because this isn't live. If YouTube would f***ing give me access to that, maybe it could be, but today's not that day. Maybe I don't mention it enough, but part of the reason that I started this channel was because I spent my teenage years and my early 20s and my mid 20s, let's get real, getting high and drunk, and then the remainder of my 20s, I guess what you can consider my late 20s, wanting to or trying to get sober with varying degrees of effort. So what I mean is I understand how hard it can be to get sober at a relatively young age. I mean, I'm 30 now, so a lot of people wouldn't consider me young, but I would say f them because I will always be young at heart. I'm staring at my cat right now. He's looking at, I wish I could turn the camera around. Maybe I can. Oh my God, he's so extra. Theon, you better stop it right now. So yeah, this video is probably long overdue, but I am being 100% with you when I say that part of my mission here is to bust the myth that getting sober in your 20s or getting sober early sucks. I'd actually go as far to say it's the best decision I've ever made. Oh my God, you need to see this. You need to see this. Can you see that? That's insane. This is what goes on. Okay. So whether you're in your 20s and you're considering getting sober, or you're already sober and you're just straight up not having a good time, bro.
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
Or have maybe just started using or drinking again after a stint of sobriety, this video is for you, and you, and you, and you, and you. I've been sober for 3 years. Arguably 4, all of which has been in my 20s. I'm going to share with you 5 lessons I learned from getting sober in my 20s. I hear bugs. My name is Allie Campbell. I'm the creator and host of Young, Dumb, and Sober. I feel like I might get stung by a bee or a wasp or a f***ing murder hornet in a second, but it's okay, I'm fine. That's the way I'm meant to go. That's the way I'm meant to go. Really would have thought it would be an overdose or alcohol poisoning, but insects, big fear, big fear. This channel is dedicated to the revolutionary and wildly important message that sobriety is fun, even if you're in those prime party years, aka your 20s. Although my party years started at like age 13, so if you're anything like me, it's also your teenage years. I don't know. If you want to help me spread this message, or at least continue to listen to me ramble on about this message and try to convince you and others of its validity, subscribe to this channel. It seriously helps, guys. I don't think you understand how much it actually makes a difference for one person to subscribe to the channel. I've looked at my statistics and more than half of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. Like, at least consider it. Hit the bell so you get notifications every time I upload new content. Hit the bell. That means there's like a bell somewhere on your page, and if you just tap it, you're gonna get notifications every time I upload new content, which means you're gonna be doing something and maybe you're bored, maybe you're not bored, maybe you're looking to be distracted by something, and then boom, notification on your phone comes. Hey, great, it's me, it's my face. Unless I, at that point, have died from the inevitable bee sting that is coming for me in the next hour. Ah! Holy right on f***ing time. Oh my God. We get sober to not live in fear of alcohol and drugs. We can still be afraid of insects, okay? Don't at me. All right, now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, let's get to the show. Here's my first lesson that I learned from getting sober in my 20s, or young, or early, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. I define what fun is. Remember that one scene from Breaking Bad where Walter White is telling his wife Skylar, like she's telling him like, oh my God, Walter, like you need to stop selling meth. Like I know you're in over your head, blah, 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 blah. I really do not. I'm like in the camp of people who hate Skylar. But Walter turns around and he's basically like, bitch, I'm not the one who's hiding in the house and somebody's knocking on my door ready to shoot me. Like, I'm the one who knocks.
If it's either that or you getting shot when you open your front door, let's both of us stop trying to justify this whole thing and admit you're in danger.
Let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No, I am the one who knocks.
That I don't know. This is a very, very different situation from what I'm talking about, but it made sense to me in my head. What I'm saying is I'm the one who knocks for the definition of fun in my life. I'm the one who defines fun. And I suppose like some people might find shooting other people fun. I don't. It's really not my thing. If it's yours, I feel like you should maybe just like navigate to a different channel or go to jail. Society and the media, yeah, I went there, has led us to believe that our college years, our 20s, our teens, our early years should be spent partying, being reckless, getting f***ed up, and worst of all, that spending your time doing all of that stuff is fun. YOLO and all that. I call bullshit. Hello? Bullshit? It's me, Allie. Yeah, I'm calling you. I'm so sorry. Nobody can define fun for you but you. It's totally possible that you, like me, like everyone else, pretty much, at least in America, have been conditioned to believe that partying, getting drunk, getting high is fun. But when you actually think about it, before you like jump down my throat and like, it is fun, like when you really, really think about it, like how much fun are you actually having? Is it fun to wait online to get in the bathroom with a bunch of sweaty people and to pay $16 for a drink that has one shot of alcohol in it? Is it fun to wake up next to somebody who's gross and be like, wow, I just this person? The most basic definition of fun, right, is experiencing enjoyment. And if you're thinking, yeah, I do enjoy getting drunk or getting high, it is fun, then like fine, that's okay. I respect that. Facts are though, you're watching this video for a reason. So I'm assuming some aspect of your life, as it relates to drugs and alcohol, is currently not bringing you joy in some way, shape, or form. Then the next logical question is, what do you consider fun? Completely up to you. And drugs and alcohol are far from the only options. Number 2, my health matters. This one might seem like a no-brainer, but when I was drinking and using, I was pretty much acting brainless. So it makes sense that I was pretty much oblivious to my overall health. I mean, I was severely aware of my mental health because there wasn't any, so I was just constantly suffering from the mental illness that it wasn't being treated. But I mean, overall, like physically, nutrition, any of that kind of stuff, like it just wasn't really on my radar. I mean, I dieted, if you consider anorexia a diet. Sometimes I say stuff and then I just see Petra look back at me like, did you really just go there? I worked out for certain short and long-term periods, again, in varying degrees of actual healthiness. I was in therapy, but by neglecting to see the way that drugs and alcohol were affecting my overall health, I was missing like a huge and really important part of the picture. Not to get like super preachy here, but health is holistic. Of course, doing any subjectively healthy thing is going to benefit you in one way or another. If you're also engaging in behaviors that aren't really great for you, you're kind of dismantling the hard work that you've been doing to progress in the other areas of your life. If you're completely unaware of the negative effects that drugs and alcohol can have on you, let's take a quick look at that. 1, it f***s up your brain chemistry. 2, can lead to infections, all sorts of infections. 3, legal consequences, if you're me. Also kind of relates to mental health, because if you have legal trouble, then you're kind of stressed out. 4, financial issues. Again, mental health. 5, you could also just like die if you are a drinker or a drugger like I was, or like many of the other people who would be watching this video or who are considering or are in sobriety. You might not think that it's possible, but A, it happens more often than you think. People die from alcohol more often than they die from opiates, which is insane because we don't hear about that, right? Because people don't want to understand that alcohol is actually a drug that kills us. People don't want to think about that. They want to blame heroin and they want to blame the doctors, but they don't want to blame the liquor store down the corner that they go to twice a week. But if you've had one instance in your course of your drinking career that you've blacked out for longer than, I don't know, 2 hours, then you very well could have put yourself in a situation where you literally could have died. And I'm not trying to be extra here or be dramatic, but the fact that I haven't yet, after blacking out so often for so long, it's actually incredible that I haven't been killed. So, go me. Is it unfortunate that up my mind and my body and my spirit and my self-esteem is what it took for me to get sober? Yeah. And that's what it took for me to realize that I need to prioritize my health. Yeah, that does suck. But the point is that eventually I got there and now it's important to me. Number 3, some people are shitty friends and they don't deserve my time. Definitely learned this one the hard way. Never have I ever had a better indicator of who my real friends are than when I got sober. The people who dropped to the wayside called me selfish for not doing the one activity that we could bond over, essentially removed me from their life. When I made sobriety a priority, those people were no longer my friend. The way that they reacted to my sobriety or my choice to get sober proved to me that they were never really my friends in the first place. Friends don't want to see you suffer. Friends don't hold a vendetta against you for doing something that's beneficial for your life and for your health. Real friends will adapt to your new dynamic. Real friends will be open to spending time doing things together other than getting up. Real friends will understand that your decision to get sober has nothing to do with them. People, you need to remember that having a history with somebody or just having been friends with someone for a really long time does not make them a suitable friend. You don't owe anyone anything, and you have every right to drop the people who no longer support your new lifestyle. And you also have the right to be happy or feel relieved once you lose people who weren't supportive of you, even if they've been a big part of your life thus far. Number 4, there's not only one way to get sober. If you think that your only option to get sober is NA or AA, and the thought of that makes you feel slightly nauseous, I'm here to tell you that you have other options. Now more than ever, we have several methods and pathways to sobriety. Personally, I began in a 12-step program because that was all I knew. Back in my day, there weren't really any other options, especially any that weren't like easily available to me. This past year has by far been the best year of sobriety that I've had, and it's been the year that I've stepped away from the traditional 12-step programs and have taken a more patchwork approach to my recovery. I still have all of the trappings of a traditional program, meaning I have a sober community and a network that I lean upon, engage with on a regular basis. I have a spiritual practice, I try to at least. I actively work on my mental and physical health. I go to therapy and I keep sobriety at the forefront of my life. Like, all of those things are still very much parts of my day-to-day existence. Absolutely nothing wrong with 12-step programs. Would not be sober had it not been for them. But that doesn't change the fact that they're not the only way and that they're just not for everyone. If you need support on what the other options are, like, reach out to me and I would be happy to share with you the resources that I have. Number 5 of the 5 lessons I learned from getting sober in my 20s. You do not have to hit rock bottom, nor do you have to be an alcoholic or an addict to stop drinking or using. And to take that a step further, you don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict to question your relationship with alcohol or drugs either. Remember at the beginning of the video where I said it took me a couple of years to actually stop drinking and drugging? Well, that wasn't just because I didn't know how to stop, or because I didn't have proper coping mechanisms, or because I didn't have any sober support, or because I had several undealt with mental health issues and unhealed trauma, although that shit definitely didn't help. Part of the reason I didn't seek help sooner, because I had been led to believe by the world at large that unless I identify with the term alcoholic or addict, I didn't really have an issue, or I didn't really have a right to get sober, and therefore recovery or sobriety wasn't for me. I hit plenty mental and like spiritual bottoms, but on the outside I pretty much looked like I had it all together. Like, I never became homeless or a thief. I didn't push away everyone who loved me. I did get a DUI, I did get kicked out of a few colleges, and I did have some legal trouble, but none of that was necessary for me to get sober. The traditional belief is that you can't get sober until you're desperate enough to do so, until you've lost enough. That's simply not true. It's entirely possible that you just don't like the way that alcohol and drugs affect you. Maybe you're uncomfortable with how frequently you have to rely upon it in social situations. Maybe you're just sick of having hangovers. Maybe you're sick of wasting money. Maybe you're sick of wasting calories. Maybe you would just like to hang out with and do things with people that actually allow you to connect with them on a real level. And you don't have to identify as anything you don't feel comfortable identifying with. If you start off getting sober in a program that makes you feel like you have to do that, seek other options. Refer to step 4, not step 4. Refer to number 4 in this video, although step 4 can help you too. After calling myself an alcoholic for 2 years straight and having person after person tell me that if I didn't identify that way, I was simply unwilling to be sober and was full of self-will, I've finally accepted the truth that wearing that label just simply doesn't serve me, and it doesn't serve other people around me who are now trying to navigate the murky waters that I was once in early sobriety, who also don't feel comfortable connecting with those labels. And guess what? I'm still fucking sober without the label. I'm not in denial. I am 100% sure that I cannot drink or drug successfully. There's a 99.9% chance that if I pick up a drink or I pick up a drug, I will pick up another, and then another, and then another, and then another. Or at the very least, I can say that if I pick up a drink or drug, I don't really know what's gonna happen next. Even if that's not the case, it's not even worth the risk for me because I enjoy being sober more than I enjoy being fucked up. And like, that's the point that maybe you wanna get to. Not being sober because you have to be sober because you're sick and because you're diseased. Maybe just because you wanna be sober and it feels good. This past year, I've had a lot less unnecessary mental gymnastics to go through by no longer having to call myself something I don't feel that serves me anymore. So if you're still watching this video, then you have seen me get really sweaty in the past 30 minutes. And I appreciate you tagging along for such a long time. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you get notifications every time I upload new content. But more importantly, if you don't want to subscribe, if you don't want to hit the bell, if you don't want to go buy some YDS merch, if you don't want to buy me a coffee, if you don't want to do any of that shit, that's fine. If you're going to do one thing from this video, believe me that if you're considering getting sober in your 20s or early or whatever, it's worth giving it a shot. No pun intended. There are plenty of resources out there for young people, and I am 100% willing to help you find them. The world of sobriety is bigger and more expansive than you think. It's bigger and more expansive than society has led you to believe. There is more fun out there to be had that is not revolved around alcohol and drugs. I promise you this. There's room for everyone and there's a place for everybody. Trust your gut that it's the right thing to do and move forward, however feels right for you. Worst comes to worst, you hate it. Drugs and alcohol are still gonna be out there. You can turn right back to them. But I have a really good feeling you won't want to. Okay guys, it's been real, it's been fun, and it's been really f***ing sweaty, but also fun. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.